was working in Gatlinburg, Tennessee in 1969, all of that summer. Well, about a week before the festival, my buddy and I had heard that they were having a rock and roll pop festival, whatever you call it, in upstate New York somewhere. So we heard Hendrix is going to be there and all these other bands. Let's go. Let's go. So I lied to my parents because I wasn't old enough to go anywhere, supposedly at that time, unchaperoned. Even though my buddy Tate Carty was, well, he wasn't old enough either. He was only 20. Well, he was, at least he was over 18. But so he was, yeah, about 3 years older than me. We went up to his relatives. He had an uncle who was a big shot in the Navy, some kind of officer. And we stayed with them for 2 or 3 days, and then we went on up to New York to the bus station to go to the festival there. And that's when all the fun and the nightmare all started at the same time. We were in the bus station there in New York City, crammed in like sardines, just literally being squashed in the bus station there. And some hippie held some other hippie up on his shoulders, and he put a lighter on the sprinkler system, set off the whole sprinkler system in the whatever it was, Trailways or Greyhound bus station, and we were all like, ah, relief at last. So we all got soaking wet, but we were happy to be soaking wet because it was burning up in that station, So a few hours there, and then finally they loaded us on these buses, and they took us up near where the festival is. It's not long after we got off the interstate there. They call it the New York Thruway, I think, something like that. They let us off the bus, and we had to walk, hell, I don't know, it was 10 or 20 miles, I guess, to the festival. And it rained the whole time we're walking there. And my buddy and I, we were cold and wet and thinking, what have we gotten ourselves into? And we stopped at somewhere on the way, a motel or something, and slept underneath a lumber pile that was sticking out, where we could at least get our faces out of the rain. The rest of us continued to get soaked. We were so exhausted we didn't care. So we slept, whatever, a few hours, and woke up and trudged on up to the festival there, with thousands of other people. Got there, I guess, about 8 o'clock in the morning, Saturday morning. We missed the whole thing Friday. It was Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, so we missed Friday because we were in that dang bus station there in New York City. And so when we finally get there, because it was raining, they had stopped the music, of course, because it's too dangerous to play when it's raining like that. So finally, I guess it was about, it rained really hard that morning, maybe 10 or 11 o'clock. And we were able to kind of fight our way into a hot dog stand. Everybody was elbowing, fighting for a position in there. And Tate and I somehow got in there and got in the hot dog stand with maybe, it was big enough maybe to hold 15 or 20 people. Hell, there must have been 60 of us crammed in there. It's kind of funny if you think back on it. It wasn't funny at the time. And then we watched just thousands, hundreds and thousands of people just running aimlessly, trying to find shelter. There was nowhere to go. If you didn't get under a concession stand or get in one of the porta cans or something, you were just going to get soaking wet. So most of the people there just got soaked from head to toe. Of course, we were too, but we stayed under that concession stand drying off a little bit. Finally, the sun comes out, and everybody gets out, starts sloshing around in the mud. Some people are having fun sliding around in the mud, and partying, but most of us are like, oh man, what are we doing here? Well, after the sun was out a couple hours, you kind of dried out and felt a little bit better, and then everybody found on a space in front of the stage, this huge bowl, hundreds of thousands of people. I remember when after the sun got out and everybody got out to get a place to watch the concert, I didn't know it was possible to get that many people in one spot at one time. it was just the freakiest thing I've ever seen. I guess maybe there was 400,000 or 500,000 people. And I thought, man, this is like reading something in the Bible, Moses leading the people to the promised land or so. It was just really weird and wonderful all at the same time. Well, then the music started up. I can't remember who came on first, but I think maybe it was Santana. Whoever it was, man, once the music started going, wow, that was the place to be. And Santana came out, they played, and we saw a lot of bands that Saturday afternoon. Santana, Canned Heat, Grateful Dead got up and tried to play. Only 2 of them made it up. The rest of the band, they were too high or something to get up there, so finally they just gave it up. I think Mountain got up next, Leslie West and that bunch, and boy, they were good. Gosh, I can't remember who came on after Mountain. It went on into the night. It didn't rain anymore that Saturday. Well, about 2 o'clock in the morning, Tate and I had enough. We were exhausted. Let's go, man. So as we were leaving, I remember John Fogerty and Creedence Clearwater was playing, and they really sounded good. Bad moon, hey, bad moon, rising, up an octave, of course. So that was pretty cool. Got to hear Creedence as we were leaving, and so finally, as we're walking out, some guys going by, and I think it was in a Ford Fairlane. There were 3, 4 of them in it, and he said, hop on the back. So Tate and I hop on the trunk of the car. We're holding on to a strip of just that little thin thing that goes around the windows there. And you can just barely get your fingers on it. And then we locked arms. Well, this guy forgot we were on the back. When the traffic started moving, he was going about 50 or 60, and we're screaming, slow down, we're gonna die, we're gonna die. Finally he heard us screaming, and he slowed down and let us off. He said, hey man, I forgot you guys were back there. I could have killed you. So we got off, and then 2 hookers picked us up and then told us to go in the wrong direction. Which way to New York? We got the interstate, and they pointed the wrong direction. We hitchhiked forever. Finally realized that we were going the wrong direction. Long story short, by the time we got to New York, we were just about out of it. And we were so exhausted we could hardly walk. And we went to Tate's uncle and got rested up for a couple of days, took a long hot shower, and I think we must have slept for 15 or 20 hours, it seemed like. And so that was my experience at Woodstock, and it was wonderful and horrible all at the same time, because of the conditions. But now I look back on it and I think about it, and it was still horrible. No, it was wonderful too.